The two were hiding from a terrifying monster when the man suddenly picked up a rock and smashed it against a nearby car window. The piercing sound of the alarm rang out instantly. In a heartbeat, countless monsters rushed toward the noise, swarming over the car. Seizing the moment, Jack pulled the woman toward a nearby underground passage. As they tried to exit through another opening, a horrifying creature dropped from above, blocking their path. The two froze in fear. Jack clamped a hand over his mouth, not daring to make a sound. The monster crept closer step by step, until Jack spotted another passage off to the side. They hurried into it, only to find it blocked by a derailed subway train. The ground is covered with standing water. Hearing the creature's snarls closing in from behind, they had no choice but to climb down to the platform and wade into the water, hoping to follow the tracks to an escape. But they hadn't gone far when a strange sound echoed from above. Jack shone his flashlight upward and froze. There, in its nest, a long-legged monster was sleeping. Amy quickly pushed the beam of light down, afraid to wake it. The deeper they went, the higher the water rose. Soon, it was up to Jack's shoulders. His breathing grew rapid and uneven. Amy turned back to calm him, but even the faint sound of her voice roused the creature. It poked its head out of the nest. Amy quickly covered Jack's mouth, holding him still until his panic subsided. Just when it seemed they might be safe, Jack's sudden shiver startled the monster into attack. They surged forward through the deepening water, finally forced to dive. Fortunately, they swam fast enough to avoid capture, and soon realized the monster was no longer pursuing them. It struggled briefly and then died. Despite its acute hearing, it could not swim. Through a breach in the tunnel, they emerged into a grand, ornate church. There, the cancer-stricken Amy collapsed. Feeling her life ebbing away, she told Jack she wished she could have pizza one last time. At dawn, Jack helped her out of the church. After a long search, they finally found a pizzeria, only to see it reduced to ashes by a fire. Amy turned away, sobbing silently, too afraid to make noise that might attract the creatures. As Jack helped gather her fallen belongings, he found a notebook revealing that Amy's father had been a pianist. Determined, he led her to the restaurant where her father had once performed. As Amy ran her fingers over the piano keys, it felt as though her father were beside her. Jack slipped out and eventually found another pizzeria, bringing back a box of pizza. The two of them, with their cat, savored the rare treat in the midst of the apocalypse. In the distance, the low blast of a ship's horn echoed. From the balcony, they saw an evacuation vessel packed with survivors. On shore, the water-fearing monsters prowled along the coastline, following the ship's path. Amy removed her yellow sweater and put it on Jack. Using parked cars for cover, they moved toward the shore only to find the waterfront surrounded by monsters. Jack's breathing grew ragged again, but Amy quietly soothed him until his panic subsided. She handed him the cat she had kept for years and whispered, "Run." Then she smashed a car window with an iron rod, drawing the creatures toward her. As the ship's captain spotted the commotion and ordered the vessel to slow, Jack stood frozen for a moment, then, clutching the cat, bolted toward the shore. Meanwhile, Amy kept making noise to buy him time. But as Jack crawled through a section of barbed wire, his foot struck an empty can. The noise drew the monsters toward him. They closed in from all directions. Jack sprinted for the sea and leapt in just before the creatures could grab him. Amy watched him escape and wept. Jack looked back at her before swimming toward the ship. Once he and the cat were safely aboard, Amy returned to the ruined pizzeria, caressing a photograph of herself and her father from her childhood. Jack, aboard the ship, found a note in his pocket: "Take care of the cat for me." Meanwhile, Amy carried a speaker into the middle of the street. As the music reached its final notes, she pulled out the headphone jack, facing the end of her life with quiet resolve.